What's up, everybody, and welcome back to HOA MMA. Um,
Did the mask throw you off?
oh my god, I didn't see it until now. Guys, as you can see, Kenzie is supporting his New York Knicks, which flat out embarrassed and destroyed my Cleveland Cavaliers. Um, I don't even know what to say, what to try to say about that series at the moment. Kenzie, how are you this week after clearly a dominating victory in our series? Oh,
Um, I've been I've been good, man. This week of playoff basketball has been very good. Like the first few games, like it was somewhere hit and miss, but it's been like this whole week, it's just been crazy.
yeah, really been an excellent week of basketball, week and a half plus. We took off last Friday because I was just not ready to face the music on the Cavs, and so yeah, we took the weekend off, and we're back this week. Kinsey, let's jump right into it, man. Cavs versus Knicks. Cavs lost really decidingly. It was a 4-1 gentleman's sweep for the Knicks. Before I go into my thing, how do you feel? I mean, you guys dominated the series pretty much besides, the first two games,
Yeah.
to be fair. And you guys, you guys had the best player in the series. I don't know what more to say right now. Go ahead and tell me a little bit about how you feel about the Knicks right
Uh,
now.
well, I expected Brunson to be Brunson, and the thing that caught me off guard the most was honestly like the rebounding and like the offensive glass, because I do think like Jared Allen, like Mitchell Robinson, like they're a wash. I think Allen's slightly better offensively, but like just the way Mitchell Robinson straight up dominated him, like I just did not see that coming. And then with Julius Randle, whenever he decided that he wasn't CJ McCollum or Devin Booker and wanted to shoot 18 contested mid-range shots, like when he put his chest into Mobley like was getting moved. And obviously like Mobley's like his frame was way thinner, so like that's to be expected, but it's just like the Knicks just imposed their physicality. And outside of game two, parts of game one and parts of game four, like the Knicks just looked like they were bullying the Cavs. And Karis LeVert, I expected that from him. Like he was outside of one game, he was pretty good for the whole series. Garland ran hot and cold, and so did Quickly, but still, like Garland, you need that out of him. Quickly is more of a bench player.
Yeah.
But yeah, even like when the Knicks were up 9-10, I was still scared. Okay, they got Donovan Mitchell. It's not over. Mitchell can get hot, and it just never got hot.
Never happened. Yeah, let's touch on some things you mentioned right there. Jalen Brunson was the most consistent player, the best player in the series, which I expected Jalen Brunson to be very good. I expected him to be the second best player in the series. And no, he was the best player in the series. He outplayed Donovan Mitchell the entire series.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Hart was the most important player in the series.
Josh Hart.
In the games that it felt like it was close, Josh Hart ended up making an important rebound. He, tipped a pass, blocked a shot, did something to help the Knicks win or extend the lead to a point where the Cavs couldn't come back. So Josh Hart, really an indispensable player for the Knicks right now.
Yeah.
And Mitchell Robinson flat out outplayed the Cavs' two big men. It was embarrassing to watch the Cavs try to box him out. It was embarrassing trying to watch them rebound against him. Game 5, he played like he was Ben Wallace. He had 15 rebounds, 11 offensive rebounds in one game. 11. It was so fucking embarrassing watching Jared Allen try to play basketball in this series. And the fact that he came out and said the lights were too bright for fucking him was so shocking to me that if they were to trade him tomorrow, I would throw a celebration. That's the kind of shit right there that drives people wild. When you play like shit and you say, "Oh, the moment was too big for me," bro. You've been in the playoffs. Like you've been in playoff series already. Why? Like it was just the toughness. The toughness between New York and Cleveland was so night and day different. Besides game 2, that was the only time it felt like the Cavs came out and were punching with the Knicks, if not punching harder.
Yeah.
And here's a perfect stat to show the toughness. The Knicks out-rebounded the Cavs in that series 227 to 186. It was nearly a 41 rebound difference throughout the series. The Cavs' only win came when they out-rebounded the Knicks in the series. Game 2, the only game, it just blows my mind. And the Cavs, in one series, our two best players had two of the worst offensive basketball games I've ever seen, back to back. How was it like? It's not like, it seems impossible to happen. If you looked at how the Cavs played offense, it's like Jamie Bickerstaff had no fucking clue what he was doing. There was no space. The offense, the roster was so terrible. It was set up perfectly for the Knicks to win this series. The Knicks didn't have to worry about a shooter besides Donovan Mitchell or Darius Garland, and they shot so poorly from three, it really didn't fucking matter. I mean, Donovan Mitchell scored 23 points a game. He shot 28% from three.
Oh, my God.
He was terrible outside of game 1. Game 5, he had 28, but it didn't matter. It was a blowout.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on Darius Garland. Like you said, hot and cold. One game, Darius Garland looked like he could take on the world. The next game, he couldn't make a shot. It wasn't even close.
No.
These guys were not ready for the pressure. They were not ready for the Knicks' physicality. Donovan Mitchell's played in big playoff series, and he was just horrendous. His turnovers were awful. He did not take care of the ball at all. Julius Randle was terrible in this series.
Yeah.
Terrible. He averaged 14 points a game, and he shot 33%. He got
Christ.
locked up, and it didn't matter. Julius Randle, it didn't even matter that he was terrible. That's how much better the Knicks were than the Cavs in this series. 14 points a game on 33%. Why didn't we force him to shoot more step-away shots? He's terrible at those shots. Terrible.
And
there was zero.
Some of the lineups y'all threw out, like, I think, what was it, game 5? Like, bro, it was Mitchell with Rubio and Okoro. That's not a serious playoff lineup. That's not a serious playoff lineup.
No. Nothing was serious about that playoff series. There was nothing serious about it besides the first 2 games. Just super, super embarrassing. The Knicks were clearly the better team. The Knicks move on to the Eastern. I mean, just flat out just dogged the Cavs for 5 games. The Cavs have a lot to adjust to. I know they said they're going to keep the coach, but that's fucking stupid. You could tell he wasn't ready for the playoffs. I don't know how you're going to all of a sudden get ready for the playoffs. And the roster needs to be better immediately. Mm-hmm. If you could find a way to get Miles Turner and Buddy Hield from the Pacers, I would look into that immediately. I think there's got to be complete change on the bench. Nobody on the bench anybody's worried about besides Karis LeVert. Yeah. And Karis LeVert is borderline a starter anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okoro couldn't play for parts of the series because he can't make a corner 3 with miles of distance between him and a defender. It was just so apparent that the Cavs were not ready for the playoffs that I'm like not even giving the Knicks credit, but they deserve credit because they play a style of basketball that's successful in the playoffs. If you're tough, if you have guys who want to be in the moment, Josh Hart wants to be in the moment. Jalen Brunson wants to take that step back mid-range jump shot and get it in your face every time.
Yeah.
Obi Toppin wants to play basketball at a high level. He wants those minutes when Julius Randle's not playing well. Isaiah Hartenstein wants to get a big rebound and dunk it on your face. Mitchell Robinson fights his ass off on the boards. He doesn't give a shit if he gets 6 points or 4 points. He just wants to get a rebound and help his team.
That's the thing that I was proud about quickly because he didn't have a good offensive series, but he was still like assisting. He was still hounding Mitchell even when his shot wasn't falling.
And then, so 4 games of quickly not being able to do anything. And then in game 5, he's knocking down threes. He's making big shots because he stayed engaged and he did other things to help a team win. And the Cavs didn't have any of that besides, I mean, they didn't have any of it. It just doesn't matter. overall, congratulations to your Knicks. Very impressed. I think that this is the next series with them. It's going to be very interesting because it's going to be two guys just fist fighting for how many ever games it takes.
Yeah,
because
if this series was like nasty basketball, this Heat Knicks series is going to set basketball back 20 years. It's going to set basketball back 20 years. It's just going to be
literally toughness,
mm-hmm.
and every possession is going to be a dogfight.
Yeah. But I like this throwback series. Like, yeah, Warriors Kings is fun, 115, 129, but something about like a 96, 89 slugfest, that it's still nice to see that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that this next series coming up in a little bit. I'm going to touch on one more thing about the Cavs before I go on. This hurts because I was really excited, but Donovan Mitchell is overrated. He is going to be first team All-NBA this year, and at no point in that series besides Game 1 did I feel like the Cavs had an All-NBA player on their roster. He never once felt like Utah Donovan Mitchell, who went down swinging many times in series. He would take as many shots as it took. He would score 50 points if he had to. It never felt like he got into the next gear. Right. Trae Young's over him at this moment. Jalen Brunson's over him. De'Aaron Fox is for sure over him. I'm trying to think of who else is playing right now. Jimmy Butler's over him for sure right now. I don't even know who else is over him right now, but he is more in the 15 to 20 range than he is in the top 15 range. And this series was apparent why he is not. He is a number one, but he is not a number one that can take you deep in the playoffs. And I think this series was apparent in that statement. 23 points. He shot 43%. He shot 28 from three. He turned the ball over about almost 5 times a game. It was just horrible basketball. It is partially to blame on the Cavs front office and the Cavs roster. They have no fucking spacing. 2 big men does not work in the NBA right now, especially in the playoffs. When your big men can't rebound, they can't be on the floor. Mm-hmm. You have to space the floor, and the Cavs never once took Jared Allen off the floor to space the floor and make Mitchell Robinson come away from the basket. It was fucking horrible basketball. So as of right now, Donovan Mitchell does not deserve to be All-NBA first team. He does not deserve to be All-NBA second team. I know it's a regular season award, but you cannot be an All-NBA player and just absolutely be dog shit in a series where they need you the most. So as of right now, he is a 15 to 20 player at best. He's been passed up by people like Trae Young, who's doing everything possible to win these games by himself. Yeah, he's shooting 28% from the field, but he is at least hitting big shots. He's leading the team in assists, and when you need him, Trae Young probably is there, and that's the major difference in these two right now. So I'm out on Donovan Mitchell right now. The Cavs need a lot of fucking help, and good luck to the Knicks going forward. They deserve a lot of praise. All right, Kenzie, let's touch on something else. Another team that literally shit the bed, the Milwaukee Bucks. First off, all the credit in the world to the Miami Heat. Oh, my God. The Miami Heat's bench outscored the Bucks bench 195 to 141. That right there is massive when you're trying to take down a higher seed.
Yeah.
And when the best player in the series is injured or is scared of the moment, and you have a guy like Jimmy Butler who doesn't care. He does not care that he was down 6. He did not care that he was pointing at the scoreboard, letting Drew Holiday know that he was absolutely abusing him.
You can't get something like that on your home court in an elimination game.
And it was so clear that Jimmy Butler wanted it more than anybody else in Milwaukee that it was astounding to watch him play basketball in that series. What were the Bucks up? 16 in Game 5 in the fourth quarter with what, 7 to go?
Something like that.
And Jimmy Butler came back in the game, and it was just on. It was on from there. The play where he – did you see the NBA report where it came out and said that Pat Connaughton fouled him?
Oh, yeah, he fouled him. That's the one thing.
That's so funny, though. Like, it's
like,
hilarious.
Man, Giannis coming out and saying I should have guarded him. Bro, I'm not trying to hear that. If you wanted to do that during the game, you know damn well if you said, but I got him, he wasn't saying no. Like, I don't want to hear that after the game.
This is the playoffs, dude. This is not like a regular season game 30 of the regular season.
Like, I remember even back in the bubble when they lost to the Heat, he said something like, "Oh, I'm just following my coach's game plan" or something. Like, bro, if you say, "Bud, this is what I want to do for the final 5 minutes," he's gonna say no.
Yeah, it was literally. That's how that right. This series is an indictment on Giannis right now. I know he got the championship, but this was an indictment, man.
Mm-hmm.
He also, I don't know how you viewed it, but that play he got hurt on, he was twisting and doing a bunch of weird shit in the air. Like, what was he doing? I understand he got like up in the air and got kind of undercut, but he twisted and was doing all kinds of weird stuff. And then to come out and he just like, he didn't want the ball. He didn't want to go to the free throw line. He missed free throws constantly that were important to closing out the game.
And that jump ball play, I understand getting it to Middleton, but you just look scared. Like the moment it got him, you can't do it like that, bro. You can't do it like that.
It was it just so much credit to Miami Heat, man. They just battled so hard, so hard. I mean, Bam had a crazy triple-double in Game 5. Like, just everything was working for them. And they're shooting I think they're shooting 47% from three as a team in the playoffs.
Yeah, like
I don't even know how that's going to continue. But major props to Miami Heat. The Bucks, I don't even know. Like, to me, they still have a great roster. Like,
what did they even trade for Jay Crowder for?
Yeah, but like, where does he fit it? Like, where does he play?
I thought like he was supposed to be out there in the close-end lineup. He's a good 3-and-D guy. Like I didn't see him on the floor. Granted, I didn't watch every single dribble of that series.
Yeah, but he had 5 DMPs, I think, in that series.
That's bad. And all that complaining he did, and then they gave up capital for him and just not use him.
Yeah, no, it's. But here's the thing, like, okay, let's just wipe the slate clean. If you're going into next year, the Bucks roster right now, they're still probably one of the favorites, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy, though. They just got beat by a team that was in the play-in, and they could still be a favorite going next year.
Yeah, and then even, like, adjustments. Like, they got away with it when they played the Nets 2 years ago, but Brook Lopez
sucks.
Yeah, you can't consistently run drop coverage. You know Jimmy's a mid-range maestro. Why not throw Giannis at the 5, Crowder, Middleton, Drew, and then, like, Connaughton or something, but just keeping Lopez out there when Jimmy's just going to screen, mid. It's just...
But here's another thing that counter that. How is the guy who finished second in Defensive Player of the Year he wasn't even out there for the last play where Jimmy got the layup to protect the rim. Like Budenholzer, if they need to fire Budenholzer, and if the Bucks got Nurse, they'd be my favorite going into next year.
Mm-hmm.
Let's touch on this. I mean, I know how you feel about this, but like, this is getting hard to deny at this point. Can you just play off Jimmy? Can you just probably put your guard down for a second and maybe just say what this guy does? I understand 8 years ago he had a bad series against Bryn Forbes, but in his last 4 playoff series or his last four playoffs, he's like 36-6. And in the finals, he was incredible against Miami. In this series, he was this series alone is one of the best individual series we've ever seen. Legitimately, it's factually true at this point. In this series, he averaged 38 on 60% shooting and 44 from 3. Please tell me it's okay, dude. Like, I know Like I know you guys play them in the next round, and I know you gotta put the defenses up. But for a couple minutes here, could you just tell me what it's like to watch Jimmy Butler when he's on in a big game? It's pretty crazy. Come on, just give it up one time, and then we'll move on.
You know, I like to start this off by saying I never denied the existence of Jimmy Butler, of playoff Jimmy. What I have constantly said was he has amazing highs, but his lows are super duper bad. I never said he's not great in the playoffs. I said you don't know if you're going to have 45-point Jimmy or 16-point Jimmy. I know he's nice in the playoffs. He gets turned up. But there's also series that he averages 14. There's also series he gets outscored by Bryn Forbes. It's just, yes, he had a very good series. There's no denying that. But pound for pound, I'm still taking Paul George over him. Pound for pound, yes.
In the playoffs, Paul George?
Yes.
You want to talk about hot and cold.
Hey, look, man, pound for pound, I'll still take Paul George and a few more wings over him. He had a great series.
Wait, whoa, no. You can't take Paul George over Jimmy Butler. Paul George has never taken anybody to the finals. No. That's not even close. No. No.
Jimmy did not take them to the finals.
Yes, he did.
That the bubble was Bam and Tyler Hero's coming up party. He had a lot of assistance on the way to the finals. He didn't take nobody there.
Paul George has not been consistently good in the playoffs since he was in Indiana.
Look at this.
No, tell me, where has Paul George been great in the playoffs?
He took the Clippers to the Western Conference Finals. When Kawhi got hurt, he finished off the Jazz. Then he took 2 games off the Suns. Look, man, Jimmy, he was great. But I never said he wasn't great. I said he's inconsistent. That's what I said. But, that's not happening in the Garden. That's not happening in the Garden. Josh Hart, quickly, RJ, Julius Randle, unless he becomes a free throw merchant, which he is. Unless he becomes a free throw merchant, gets like 12, 13 a game, he ain't scoring. He might crack 30 once. He's not doing that in the Garden.
Paul George has never been the best player on a team to make a finals. He's never been to a finals. And Jimmy Butler, he did that. There is no way you can put Paul George above Jimmy in the playoffs. Absolutely not.
Coach Spo masterclass. Coach Spo masterclass.
Can I ask you a quick question? In what Coach Spo play was it where Jimmy just walks it down and hits a 3 in your face? In what Coach Spo play was it where Jimmy backs you down from the elbow, mid-range in your face?
Quick isolation.
That's not Coach Spo. That's Jimmy Butler.
Quick isolation.
That's such a bad. That's so bad.
Quick isolation.
I know. Paul George is just not.
No. I fully believe Paul George is better than Jimmy Butler. I fully believe that.
Absolutely not. Okay, let's touch on. We've got so the Eastern semifinals are all set. We've obviously got your New York Knicks versus the Miami Heat, and then we've got Philly taking on Boston. What series do you like more if you could put your bias aside? For me, I think Philly and Boston is a lot more interesting because I think that's the team that's going to represent the East in the finals. What do you think?
I think Celtics Sixers would be better to watch because like we said, Heat Knicks might be some disgusting basketball. Okay. And I'm just really interested to see how Tatum performs because he was really up and down in that Hawks series. They just really out talented them.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see after all this campaigning about anti-Jokic pro and B, will he finally crack through and make the third round, the conference finals? So yeah, that side of the bracket has a lot more I'll say legacy defining stuff, even with Doc and Harden. So yeah, I'll say that.
Okay. And then let's get our predictions here. Celtics versus Philly. How do you see it going out?
I got Boston in 6. Harden, it was a little bit kept on the wraps. He also wasn't good in that first round series. It's just they just had way more talent than the Nets. And the Nets were in 2-3 games. They just really don't have a closer. And with Embiid being hampered, and Boston for some reason they just Horford Horford does a good job against Embiid in the playoffs. So yeah, I definitely have Boston in like 6. One game, I think Embiid's going to get them one because he's going to have like 15, 60 free throws. Another game, they're going to get one because Tatum, the FanDuel terrorist, runs hot and cold. He's going to have like a 2 for 13 shooting night from 3.
The FanDuel terrorist.
Yeah, so I definitely got a Boston in that.
I'm with you with the Boston pick. And like you just said, Tatum is so fucking inconsistent sometimes. It's insane that he's that talented and he just has just terrible basketball games. I'm going to take Boston in 7, though. I think it's going to go the whole way. I'm really excited to see these teams square off. Boston does a really great job historically on Embiid. Robert Williams, Al Horford, they just match up really well. And then here's the big one, man. Knicks versus Heat. Knicks with the home court advantage. Tell me how you guys stop the run of playoff Jimmy.
How do we stop playoff Jimmy? This is how.
If you don't know what that is, it's the Knicks playoff defense chant. Sorry, it's obnoxious.
For one, rebounding.
Yeah.
If the Knicks go from out rebounding Allen and Mobley to getting out rebounded by Bam and does Love start at the 4? Who starts at the 4?
I think it depends, but I think Love will probably. That's tough. I'm not sure how they're going to work that out.
Yeah, so like either way, for one, I think the Knicks are just going to utterly dominate the glass. For 2, it's just I still don't know how they beat the Bucks because like after Jimmy, after Bam, even if you want to say Kyle Lowry and Love still got it, it's literally a bunch of he's a solid NBA player. It's literally just a bunch of solid players. So I think the Knicks just have like a swarm of bodies to throw at him. Hart, obviously, like smaller and weaker, but Hart's an irritant. Quickly, same thing. He has quick hands, but he's obviously weaker. RJ weaker, but he's like around a similar height. Julius can bang with him physicality. Then you have Mitchell at the rim. I just think like the swarm of bodies they can throw at him. And then if Jimmy takes the Brunson assignment, Brunson's like very herky-jerky. So like he might pick up maybe 1-2 fouls. And then the Knicks, the depth comes into play. They like to get out and run with Obi. I just have them taking it. In Miami, another reason they beat the Bucks besides the Bucks collapsing, they were hot from 3. And they were one of the worst shooting teams from 3 all season. Yes. I don't see that happening another round. So yeah, I'm going with the Knicks.
Knicks and how many?
In all honesty, 5. But I'll say 6 just because playoff Jimmy, best player performer in 40-point game, whatever. Knicks in 5.
All right, Knicks in 5. Okay. I think that first series is going to take a lot out of Jimmy. I think that was a lot. He didn't get a ton of help on offense for a lot of that series. And I'm wondering how, if the Knicks show up with the same intensity and the same physicality, I'm wondering how Miami's going to match them on the boards. I'm going to go Knicks in 7. I don't like it, but I don't know. Knicks in 7. So there we go for our Eastern Conference half. Let's jump into the West now. We've got Suns and Nuggets starting up this weekend, and then we've got the 2 series that are finishing up potentially tonight. So let's get into it. Lakers, Memphis tonight is Game 6. Do you think the Lakers close it out tonight?
I'm gonna say yes. Wait, you said close it out tonight or like in general?
Do they close it out in Game 6 tonight? They're up 3-2, so that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes, mostly because Bane and Ja just had 30 again. I can see Ja 30 again, but I don't see from Bane. And LeBron just had like one of his worst playoff games ever, so I expect him to bounce back. The reason I'm hesitant is, AD the series, it's been like 35-13, 28-12. He just had a good game. So is he due for a bad one? But I just think the Lakers at home, they kind of know, yeah, we kind of got to win this one because Game 7 on the road, even though I'm not down on LeBron winning Game 7 on the road, it's just, the spread, but the way he's cold from 3, just close it out tonight.
Okay. I'm with you on that one. I think Lakers close it out tonight. And then we got Kings and Warriors in the closeout game tonight. Obviously, I believe you're going to pick the Warriors to close it out. I'm with you. I think the Warriors close it out tonight. I thought the Knicks' the Kings' best chance. Look, here's the thing. They had the best chance possible to go up 3-1, and they missed it. Mm-hmm. And after that, that's pretty demoralizing. If they hit that shot, I look like a genius. I look like a genius. So I'm going to just go ahead and admit it. I was wrong. I got the Warriors closing it out tonight.
And it's Game 6 Clay. I didn't even realize that. So Buck said it earlier. It's Game 6 Clay.
I got him on the over tonight. So I need him to show up. And then, like I said, Suns versus Nuggets starts this weekend. How do you see Suns versus Nuggets playing out?
My brain is telling me to pick the Nuggets because they won in 5, them being the Suns. They won in 5, but that was an ugly 5 that could have went either way against the fighting Norman Powells and Russell Westbrooks. And if Westbrook makes that layup in Game 5, the game is tied with 2 minutes left after you just had a 50-point third quarter.
Right.
And it's just with them, the Suns stars averaging 42 minutes a game. The Nuggets, they just on any given night, you don't know who's going to give it to you. And then Ayton, Plumlee and Zubac have some decent games, and Jokic is a whole different beast.
Right.
So I want to go to Nuggets, but on the other hand, those Suns mid-range shooters are deadly. I could just see them. Jokic, come here. Oh, you're not stepping up? Give me that. You're not stepping up?
They're most certainly running Jokic. They're going to run.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It's going to be bad. I think the Suns win this pretty easy because Jokic is
easy.
What? Okay, so how many Chris Paul mid-range wide open jump shots is he going to have to take before you're like, okay, well, they're screwed? Here's the thing. But you can do that with Durant, Booker, Paul. You're just going to run 8 in screens with it's going to be if Jokic steps up, it's an 8 and dunk. If he doesn't step up, it's a 2-point mid-range jump. And we're going back to what are they going to do? If they switch Aaron Gordon on Ayton, I don't think it's going to help either.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I was trying to think maybe switch him.
DeAndre Jordan? No.
Yeah, I don't know because I was about to say maybe try to hide Jokic on Craig, but they might have a hard hedge, trap the pick and roll. They're gonna have to do something because there's definitely going to be a game where the Suns have 60 off the mid ranges alone.
I got Suns in 6. What's your final decision?
Nuggets in 6. Nuggets in 6.
All right, and then we'll just do this for potential, and then we'll get out of here. Lakers versus Warriors.
Warriors in 6, but if it's 5, I'm not shocked. I'm watching Curry in this series. Davion Mitchell's doing a great job of chasing him around everywhere, just harassing him. Who in the world is telling me? Who in the world is doing that on the Lakers? If you tell me Dennis Schroeder, you're a liar. It's in with the.
I would, but that's the thing. Is I'm assuming that's the only person they're going to try to do that with.
Yeah, and he's going to be drained from that, and then
Reeves is probably going to chase Clay.
Yeah,
and then LeBron will probably guard Wiggins. No. Vanderbilt will guard Clay. Reeves will guard Wiggins. Schroeder will guard Steph. LeBron will guard Draymond. AD on Looney. But I think that's going to be trouble for the Warriors on defense, though.
How?
I think AD would just eat Looney alive. Here's the thing, Sabonis, he can score whenever he wants on Looney. They don't run it that way. They want him to be this facilitator.
I don't know, man. AD, he's too hot and cold this playoff series before game 4.
Is he? I don't think he has been.
Bro, game 4 before the game went to overtime.
Kevon Looney's not Triple J. It's not the same thing.
Bro, he had 8 going into overtime.
When?
Game 4. He had, before overtime when he finished with like 12-13, he had 8 going to overtime.
You said game 4?
Yeah, Anthony Davis. That was the LeBron overtime game, right? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, they won though.
If
Okay, so
any,
he had one bad game this series. That's fine. Okay, I'm okay. He's had one bad game. He's had 30 and 15 every other game.
bro, I'll tell you.
That's not hot and cold. No. That's not hot and cold when you average 30 and 12 every other game.
But wait, games 1 and 2, what was AD's log? Because I know one of those games was an average game.
Game 1, which they won, he was 22 and 12. Game 2, he was game 2 was 13 and 9. And then game 3 was 31 and 17.
Yeah, then game 4 was the bad one. Then game 5 was the good. Yeah, he's just way too hot and cold.
But the game, he's still getting 30 and 17.
All right, but if he's hot and cold and LeBron's 3-point shot is gone right now, the Warriors are just going to run them out of here.
Very possible. Yeah, I mean, I would probably pick the Warriors in a series, but I think it's going to be close. I'm going to probably go Warriors in 6 also. I don't know. It's going to be hard to not, without like a vintage LeBron type thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be hard either way. That's why I thought the Kings running them all, being able to score with them was the best chance.
Yeah, like I be watching like some of those games. I'm like, yo, the Kings after a miss or after inbound, they're just out. The thing, but like the Lakers, they're not going to do that. So like the Warriors could like, yeah, I just think it's going to be like a way slower pace. They're like, oh, these guys aren't as fast, aren't as athletic, don't shoot as good. The Lakers' only win con would be AD. Yeah, no hot and cold, only hot. LeBron, chill with the 9 threes a night. 9 threes a night, go to the post. And I don't know. I just don't see it.
Okay, yeah, I understand. So, all right, guys, that is our update. We touched on Cavs and the Knicks, and then we talked Bucks meltdown. We touched on the East and the West playoffs and everything that's going on remaining. Guys, we'll be back next week to touch on everything, and we'll be in the second round. Kinsey, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
Sunday, it begins.
All right, guys, don't forget, like and subscribe. Check out our other channels. We're growing this one. We're almost at 150 subscribers. Help us get to 150. And we will see you guys next week.
All right, yeah.